Thank you. Council, you have 6 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman, Honorable Chairman. This committee is an investigative committee, and it has a responsibility and guidelines on how to achieve that responsibility. I would not refer this committee to the law. It is sufficiently informed with good experts in the law, but this is a motion under Article 181 and Section 133. This committee is supposed to determine whether the motion before the County Assembly has been substantiated, meaning the allegations availed at the County Assembly and debated, were they supported by cogent and probative evidence so as to be seen to have been proved beyond reasonable doubt. Those charges must meet a certain threshold, which Mr. Mutuma has alluded to, and I refer this committee to Civil Appeal number 21 of 2014. It's a Court of Appeal decision delivered sitting in Nyeri, and I'm not going to analyze that decision for the sake of time. But, my Lord, Honorable Chairman, in that decision, the court sets the threshold for determining gross violations of the Constitution and gross misconduct. Gross violations of the Constitution, according to that decision, and it analyzes many other decisions from the Commonwealth, it must be such a gross violation of the Constitution that it makes it impossible for the other constitutional organs in the county or in the country to be unable to function because those provisions of the Constitution have been violated. Honorable Chairman, there is no evidence that there has been a violation of a constitutional provision so that the judiciary in the county of Meru is not able to function, that the governor of the county of Meru has made it impossible for the county assembly to carry out its essential functions. And I ask this committee to look at the evidence that is availed. On the matter of evidence, the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 17, says that the first person to speak appears truthful until the opponent stands to cross-examine. I do not want to analyze the entire evidence, but look at the Hansard and the cross-examination. The evidence that was availed in support of the charge, even on verification, for instance, by Mr. Mweda Inviri, he said he was being asked to apologize on the things he did not know. On cross-examination, and I asked him, you are saying to the governor, some things are true, others are not true. He admitted that there were actually things that had led to the two leaders getting to that position together with the public. Honorable Committee, when the issue of the church arose and the the father came to testify, he said he's not here on matters of the church or verification of the church. He was here on his own person, and he also gave a very particular line of testimony. And he said he has lived in America for over 10 years. He has been racially abused. And he said, potentially, that's why he is a more sensitive person. Honorable Chairman, that is a very important testimony coming from a witness. And this committee should look at that evidence from that prism of this is not an unusual person or a usual citizen for purposes of testifying on the issues that were before, that is a charge before this committee. On the issue of mismanagement of finances, again, the mover of the motion admitted that the county has not lost any money and the governor has not spent any money, contrary to any provision or framework of management of finances in the county. This was an admission by the mover of the motion themselves. When the governor and her...
You have 2 minutes to go.
Has stood up to testify today, a question was asked as to why the governor chose the chief of staff and not the county secretary. And I wish to remind this committee the explanation that was given that the Chief of Staff has been the governor in so many areas. And the issues to be testified upon were not only on appointments, but on even those other issues that are alleged in the motion. The most appropriate person and most comprehensive was only the Chief of Staff, who had witnessed many of those things, and not the county secretary. The governor was not hiding anything, and she was available for that cross-examination. On the issue of public participation, I would like this committee to refer to the High Court petition in Kiambu, petition number 54 consolidated with petition number 52 and 41. And in that decision, the court indicates that in assessing the threshold for public participation, we look at the issue at hand and what level of public participation ought to have been conducted. This is an issue where at the opening address, we were told this is a governor who cannot be tamed, and she's a result, an undesirable result of an election process. So it became clear at the opening address that the intention of the MCAs were to overturn an undesirable election result. And Honorable Chairman, with that in mind, the threshold was very high for the decision to be made by the County Assembly that the members of the public have accepted after only 2 months to overturn an election result which they had themselves come up with. On 1 minute, Honorable Chairman, I wish to draw this committee to the County Assembly Act on Public Participation. The Meru County has an act on public participation, and the principles set out at Section 4 of that County Assembly Act guides us to that threshold. The members of the county should have been well-informed, well-educated, and there was no time limit. This was done in a day, but could have been done wronger. There's nothing that limited the members who moved the motion from going all the corners of the county and having more lengthy time to fulfill the principles in Section 4 of that County Assembly Act. Honorable Chairman, I wish to invite this committee to look at the entire evidence that has been given and the cross-examination, and especially our testimonies on cross-examination and the evidence given today. This afternoon, the governor has indicated she is willing to work with anyone. She has tried to bring the county together, and she has not given up. All she has said, and in her words, time heals. Give her one more time, and she'll be able to bring all these people together. But also remind the county assembly that they also need to move the county forward within the framework of the law. If there is any transgression or a violation of the law, the governor has indicated she has not had any deliberate intentions in violating any law. She's apologetic. She has also received wisdom from this committee, especially from the persons who have served previously as governors. And she has, in her words, said she thus directed. Honorable Chairman and Honorable Committee, we humbly pray for you to find that this motion is not substantiated, and it's important that the county assembly and the county government of Meru County is given a chance to run that county and afford services to the people. On the issues of the CCs, the governor said she has reorganized, but
Order.
She's awaiting to...
Order, Council.
Yes. Honorable Chairman, please allow me 30 seconds on that issue because it appeared it's a big issue, and Honorable Senator Madago pointed out on it, and it looks like the governor has just ignored all structures and forms of government, offices of government at the county level, and she decided to run her own private project in form of the government. You allow me just 30 seconds. I explained where the governor was coming from, and what she promised is her next stage, that in the reorganization of that cabinet and allocating more than one directorate to one CC, she only wanted the county to move as she prepares to resubmit the names to the county assembly. And that came from her testimony in person and on oath, Honorable Chairman. With that, I do not wish to tear this committee anymore. On this side of the divide, we highly appreciate the sacrifice you have made, and you've gone beyond the call of duty to serve this country. We are highly appreciative on part of my team, and we are very grateful. Most obliged, Honorable Chairman and Honorable Committee.
Thank you. We may all rise. The proceedings of this hearing by the Special Committee of the Senate has now come to an end. It has been a great pleasure for the last 10 days